There's only one thing I need to say here. Hammered!
Hey folks, today is July 22nd, 6:58 p.m. My name is James. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. So yesterday I said the market looked terrible. I still think it's struggling. I don't like the action, I guess. It just there's no momentum. It seems like things are waiting, I guess, for earnings or something. I mean, I can only assume it's earnings because that's what's coming, right? But yeah, it's like the S&P broke down from this ascending channel, and now it's just kind of sitting there. Nasdaq's doing the same type of thing, but it's within the channel still, which I would call that positive. Because if there's any index that I would want to see leading, it's the Nasdaq or the Russell before the S&P. It'd be nice for all of them to move, but the Nasdaq is the one that has tech in it, which that would just be better. There's more growth there. There's more future hope for the future kind of stuff there. The Russell doesn't look very good. It's now cut through that line, and that line might not even be accurate. It's just what was there from yesterday, right? If I take it out, we're just kind of hovering in there. That's the 50-day moving average, the yellow one. It's kind of holding it up, and then the Dow kind of going sideways, flagging. It's good for the Dow to hold this line. If that's if it stays above there, that's fine. The Dow isn't really much of a leader. The big number everybody looks at, but it's not really much of a leader. So we can kind of get a hint of what the market's doing though by looking at all of them. So I just don't like. I can't get a direction here. That's my problem. I can't get a direction. I can't tell what's going to happen. It just seems we're just sitting there, and it's yucky. But then let's look at the list and we'll see some of these other things like trade desks. Okay, even while the market's kind of like in pause mode or whatever it's doing, you have stuff like trade desks up $13. It was actually quite a bit more, or up about 16 or something when it came over this line. I drew this line today when it started approaching it. This really started to become visible to me, and that corresponds with this bar here. And I was thinking of buying it myself, but the volume kind of dried up through the day. The overall daily volume that I had was kind of drying up by the time it got up there. So I just drew the line and waited, and it closed below it, which is actually good because maybe there'll be a chance to buy it tomorrow. And then, of course, if it breaks the all-time high there, that's going to be a buy point right away. So TradeDesk has been this list for a while, and it's starting to look really, really good, actually. TWLO is another one. It challenged the high, came up really close to it, didn't touch it, but that's really starting to make this look a lot better. The fact that it came up and touched but didn't break out, and it's still maintaining that upward lower line. That looks really good to me. TWLO looks really, really good. I hate Shopify now because I've been stopped out of it once and bailed out on it today because it's just not breaking out. It's frustrating. I know it's going to go. But I guess I anticipated that there might have been a pre-earnings rally this week. And so I'm kind of looking at buying it based on the idea that this rally is just going to show up. But it's not showing up. Not yet anyway. So it's had pretty good volume today. But I mean, it reaches that line every single time, and it's just like, just can't get over it. But every time it touches that line, it eliminates more of the supply that's over top of that line. And eventually there won't be any more supply to sell. And so that price should break out. I'm getting fed up with it though. So that's hard as a trader, that's hard for me to get over because I'm like, okay, I hate this stock now. So why would I want to buy it? And then when it actually does break out, I'll be hesitant to buy it. So got to get over that. But that's just what happens. I might look at TradeDesk or TWLO before Shopify now just because of that, because I'm mad at it basically. EW tried to get over the line, it couldn't. It really didn't have a big jump in volume. And I wouldn't buy this thing now anyway because earnings are on the 23rd, which is tomorrow. But if it closed below that line, and if earnings are good, it could spike it over. So, but the earnings aren't until after the close tomorrow. So I just wouldn't buy it at all here. Wait until after the earnings and then see what it does. ARNA Pharmaceuticals tried to go over, couldn't, didn't have any volume. That's probably why. I'd give that some more time, see if it can get over. DOCU, still within the pattern, it's holding that lower line. Give that more time. Tandem, same thing. Still just within the pattern, give it more time. Etsy had a nice jump today. That's actually really nice to see. Again, its earnings are August 1st, which is next week. But it's nowhere near breaking out. Hopefully this stays in the triangle until earnings. And then it's earnings that takes it out, and it just kind of takes off. But what I really prefer to see is like if this was to move to the lower side of this triangle and then earnings blasted it up to just under the upper line. Of course, that's ideal. Probably won't get that, but wait till earnings. Beyond Meat is moving fantastically. I saw this when it broke out, and I kind of said, why would I buy Beyond Meat? But I guess this is why. Yeah, I could have bought it, and I just didn't. I probably should start allowing myself to consider other stocks, but yeah, that's fantastic. That's really great. CrowdStrike had a really nice rebound after pulling back after its earnings. I want to see this consolidate up here. It might not really slow down to the point of giving us something like a 2-week base, which is what I would love. It's probably going to have to do like a small pennant or bull flag or something, and then momentum just keeps taking it higher because I think this thing's really going to keep running. ZM is still inside this triangle. That doesn't look too bad now. MDB, not the best. Earnings are not until September. This doesn't look that great. I mean, sure, there was a little ascending triangle. There's no momentum taking it over. I wish there was. There's just not. We're going to have to give that some more time and see what it does there. It just looks kind of messy. Match held up pretty good, even though it sold off. Was that Friday? It's holding the line though. That's a good thing. So stop should be down here. Give it time to move above that line. Hopefully it holds it and then just can bounce back up. Cyber, look at this. Nice pennant forming, nice little flag. Pennant / flag, whatever you want to call it. Sideways action. That 144.18 is going to be the breakout point. August 6th is the earnings. So that's not until 2 weeks from now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. So that's got plenty of time. That could get going and move pretty nicely, actually. Solar Edge still holding above the line. That still looks pretty good. Chegg, and I redrew these lines. That looks kind of crappy. It looked better before today, basically. Just another downside bar. It's still within some lines. Maybe it turns up, but it's not looking as good as it did before today. So you can give that a little bit more time though. Pega, same kind of thing. Just kind of sagging down. It's actually better to see something do this in this market than suddenly get big red bars or something. So that's kind of just holding up, consolidating the move it's already had. Palo Alto still looks good. There was a bit of a dip, but it closed above the 21-day moving average. That might be a sign that more rest is coming, but it still looks pretty good. So be cautious on that one, I would say. AVLR, a couple of down days there. That's a bit of a worry. Yeah, just be careful. I don't like the look of the market as a whole, but I think it is waiting to see some earnings results before things really start to try to move one way or the other. So that's why I'm just saying be careful on some of this, because you're seeing these sagging bars where maybe these stocks are waiting for a like stock or a stock like it to give an earnings report so they can decide whether this one should move or not. So you could get an earnings report and all of a sudden things go south. So just be really careful. Coupa, that looks really good. That's holding up really nice. Coupa looks good. AZPN, let's see. Yeah, that looks really great too. Still climbing. Facebook So I was a little worried about that bar, but it rebounded today. So you could call that a bit of a flag, you know. Yeah, if more strength comes into the market tomorrow, the next day, Facebook's obviously going to go higher, as long as there isn't a headline or something that drives it down. So the fact that it didn't touch that line and has now rebounded back up today, that's really good. So Facebook looks pretty good right there. So Sam yesterday I said if it crossed like this line, it should be sold. I think that was still completely fine if you sold it. It ended up closing back above the line, so if you didn't sell it, that's even better. But yeah, it still looks good. Like it's holding up. It's really, to me, I said this earlier to myself. I said it looks like it's holding on for dear life. That it's trying desperately to hold on to this. You can see these topping tails, and then you've got a spinning top. Something's trying to drive it lower, and something's trying to hold it up there at the same time. So it's really just swinging around. It could still go higher though, but its earnings are July 25th, so I would say get out before then at least. Never hold anything over earnings. McDonald's looks really good. Safe looks really good. OLED looks really good. And ANET looks fantastic. $4.62 move up there. That's crazy from an entry right there. Whoops. Anyway, that's it. I'm really looking at Trade Desk and Twilio for myself, and I hate Shopify now. Yeah, but we'll see what we get. So my next video will be tomorrow night. I'll see you then.